Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's Calorie Crush. I was full of fire, wasn't I? Full of fire enthusiasm. We were coming into January and I was going to be 100% on plan. I've not been 100% on plan. I have been mostly within a deficit. I did struggle with a little bit of leftover Christmas chocolate. I've always had this feeling that I eat the ones I like and then I eat the ones I don't like. So I've managed not to eat the ones I don't like this time. So I've got to have something in this eye for hours. And I've been rubbing away at it for hours and probably made it red, but not made it any better. But I did find a couple of times that I dipped into the chocolate tub and I can't do one or two. I have to do all or nothing. I know I should do nothing. I realise that. I realise I should do nothing. If you can't do one or two, then you shouldn't start. But a couple of times I got a bit carried away with the chocolate tub. I've had two events this week, although they were the same event. Excuse the frog in my throat as well. I didn't know I had that until I started talking. So it was Tina's birthday, my friend Tina, who she lives across the road, and we have been friends for 30 years. 30 years, because we met when Anthony was a year old. In fact, he's going to be 32, so we've been friends for 31 years. And it was her 50th birthday. Now, as a group, we all go out for each other's birthdays throughout the year. There's me, Tina, Tammy, a couple of other friends. We all go out for each other's, and Natalie, throughout the year. And we have a tradition that we all, on the birthday of the person, we pay for their meal. So we all go out for a meal and they don't pay for their meal. That's one of our traditions. So all year round, Tina's been coming out for our birthdays and chipping in for our birthday meals. And then when it came to her birthday, because it was her 50th, the big one, she said, "Oh, I'm going to have a party. You know, I'm having a party. Would you like?" So we said, "Lovely." And then Tammy and I were having a chat and we realised that what this meant was that Tina, having very kindly chipped in for all of our meals all year round, was paying for her own party. It wasn't getting her kickback. So we said, so we need to go out for a meal as well. You can't just have your party. We need to take you out for a birthday meal because, you know, we want to have our traditional celebration. So we did that. There's a long-winded way of saying I went out for a meal and a party. We did that on, I want to say Tuesday night, I think it was, and obviously it is the birthday girl's choice of where to go, and she chose TGI Fridays. So because I was still fired up with enthusiasm, I went on the website in advance and had a look at the menu and decided what I would have. And I was going to have a chicken thing with the house salad, and I wasn't going to have fries, and I wasn't going to have dessert. And the first thing that greeted us when we arrived there was the lady, the greeter, the server on the door said, "Oh, we're having some real stock issues at the moment, and we don't have a lot of the things on the menu." So when it came to ordering mine, they did not have any of the things I had planned to have. So I had a bit of an about turn, and I had a corn dog for starters, which I'd never had before. It turns out that's just a sausage in batter, basically. It's not a sausage in batter. An English sausage in batter is kind of a pork or beef sausage in a crispy batter, and this was a hot dog sausage in a corn batter. And I'm sure that you guys have had them lots of times. I've never had them. It was quite nice, but it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. And for my main, I ended up having ribs, which wasn't too bad a choice, except I said, "Can I have them with the salad?" And they said, "I haven't got any salad." "Okay, can I have them with sweet potato?" "No, we haven't got any sweet potato fries." So I had them with fries. Best laid plans of mice and men, gang aft agley. Anyway, I had that, and so I was slightly over my calories that day. I had retained some calories during the day. I'd been trying to be very light on calories during the day so that I knew I could go out in the evening. And I wasn't going to have dessert, but of course there was birthday cake, so I had birthday cake. So I was over my calories then. And then I stayed within my calories then for the rest of the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday daytime, and then Saturday night was Tina's party. And she did a cracking beige buffet. You know I love a beige buffet. Again, for overseas viewers who are like, what, you know, a beige buffet is a typical English party buffet where almost everything on the table is beige. So sausage rolls, quiche, cooked, you know, mini sausages, sandwich which is normally always white bread. It's just a very beige outlook. There's usually a couple of bowls of salad which everybody ignores, but it's a very beige buffet. And I had a large beige plateful. I had some carrot sticks. But they were as well, not instead. So I was definitely over my calories on Saturday. Interestingly, I really felt the effects of that beige buffet. That's the first time that I have overindulged in pastry and things for a while. And I don't know if I maybe gobbled my food too quickly. It's entirely possible that when you're socialising, you're chatting and it's a loud atmosphere. I'm a fast eater anyway. I know I eat too quickly. It's something I'm always trying to stop myself doing, is from eating too quickly, and we've talked about it before on my channel. It's due to various childhood reactions to stuff and at the table when I was a kid. So I ate my food far too quickly, and I've always done that, and it's something I try and deal with. And I'm not sure if I maybe didn't chew my food well enough, or maybe it was the content, or maybe a combination of the two. But by the time I got into bed Sunday night, I had really bad trapped wind and indigestion. And that continued all the way through Sunday, combined with, not to put too fine a point, constipation. So I was not very well Sunday, not very well Monday. I'm recording this Tuesday morning, and I seem to be, touch wood, a lot better today. A little bit of gripey tummy pain, but not much. So I'm blaming the beige buffet, and if that's not a salutary lesson to me to stay away from the beige buffets, then I don't know what will be. I did enjoy it at the time, though. So as I've said, this is Tuesday. I got on the scales this morning, and the reason I did that was because when I got on the scales yesterday morning, as I've just said, I had a lot of bloating, trapped wind and constipation, and I didn't feel that what I saw on the scales, firstly, it wasn't what I wanted to see, but also I didn't necessarily feel that it was an accurate depiction of how things would be once I had got my digestive system sorted out. So I got back on the scales this morning. So the way in that you are seeing the results you're about to see on the scales are an 8-day rather than a 7-day. Let's go and have a look. Okay, here we go. First week, scales time. Just want to get out of the way. £297.2. I round up to 297.5. I think that's a £2 loss. £2.5 loss. £2.5 off. I'm pleased with that. Yesterday morning it was a no change. I had maintained, but as I said, I knew that I was not at my peak weighing point. So I'm very pleased with 2.5 off. I'm going to take that and run with it. This means that I can put 2.5 of my little counters on. Again, I do have some new subscribers, and I forget, sorry, bear with, I'll be back. I sometimes forget to explain to people what's going on here. So this is my weight loss journey tracker board here, and I have these little counters that go on it. It has stars for when you've lost a stone, and these little hanging bits here, which we can't decide whether they're balloons or balls or what, but they go on for every pound you've lost. Now, it didn't come with a £0.5 one. And so I have just written on one of these counters, and I had it a moment ago and I've lost it again. The heck is that gone? There it is. So I've just written half on one, so that if I have a £2.5 loss, as I've had today, I can celebrate it properly. So I'm going to put 2.5 of my little counters onto my board. Now, I put mine on with blue tack because although they will hang there perfectly well as long as you don't mess with your board, if you touch it in any way, they tend to fall off. And I move mine all the time because I also use this area for photographing for eBay. So I use a little tiny blob of blue tack on the back of my counters to hold them in place. Oh, I've lost that one. And I drop them on the floor all the time. As I've said in previous videos, there is a link to my weight loss tracker board in the description box below. It is not an affiliate link. I do not get anything if you buy one. I'm not trying to encourage you to buy one, but a lot of people ask where I got it from. I got it on Etsy, and there's always a link in the description box. £2.5. I'm pleased with that. I've got counters everywhere now. I'm very pleased with £2.5 for a first week's weigh-in. It could have been better if I had had my 2 little blips, admittedly, but real life does continue, even though you're on a weight loss plan. One thing we are trying to do for January is to not eat out. When Natalie and I put ourselves on an eating out ban for January, with a couple of exceptions. So the exceptions were Tina's birthday, Mum's birthday, which is the end of this week, and I'm going to Hitchin this weekend, and there will perforce be some eating out there because I will be away from home. So those are my exceptions for January, but it has made a huge difference to the choices I'm able to make just by not eating out as much, because that's something we've also talked about. I love doing it. Eating out is my social life. I don't particularly want to stop doing it, but it did me good to have some time off. So I was very well behaved Friday. Tammy sent me a message Friday saying, oh, Rachel and I are going out for dinner, do you want to come? And I said, no, I'll join you for a drink afterwards, but I'll have dinner at home. So little halo shining there. So yeah, I'm pleased with £2.5. I think that's good. That's going to fire me up and keep me going for the next week. I'm going to try and be very good this week right through until, like I said, I've got Mum's meal out Thursday, but we're going to a garden centre cafe that she likes. So I should be able to find something reasonably healthy on that menu. and then I'm going to try and be well behaved at least through to the weekend, and hopefully then come back with a minimum of a maintain and ideally a small loss when I weigh in next week. That would be my sweet spot, I think. I have set up a Facebook group. Now, I am well out of practice at administrating Facebook groups. I will put the link in below, but you'll need to request to join, and I'd like you all to bear with me if I'm a bit slow at responding, because as I said, I am away the second half of this week. So please be patient if you don't get a response to your request immediately, and I will probably be looking for a couple of admin or moderators or whatever they're called on Facebook to help me out along the way at some point. But it's just going to be a very, very simple Facebook group where we can all chime in, say how well we're doing. There will be perhaps either a Monday weighers, Tuesday weighers, Wednesday weighers, whatever, so people can put on if they've weighed in that day and if they want to add their progress. There will be absolutely no requirement for you to tell people what you weigh. You can just tell us if you've lost or gained or stayed the same or whatever, and you don't have to do anything. But what I'm saying is I don't want anybody to think, oh, I couldn't join a Facebook group because I couldn't tell anybody my starting weight. That's your business. Nobody needs to know that. If you don't want to share that, that's fine. If you do want to share that, that's equally fine. But we will be able to perhaps help each other out if we've got any NutriCheck questions, for those of you who use the NutriCheck app to track your calories. But also, as I've put on the group header, it's not solely for people who are calorie counting. It's for people who are trying to get smaller, and you can be using whatever plan suits you. I don't want there to be judgment in there about people who use one plan via another. I have tried various plans over the years. This is the one that works for me, but Slimming World may work for you. Weight Watchers may work for you. Keto may work for you. Whatever works for you is fine. That's your choice, and I'm not going to have a group where people tell each other they shouldn't be doing stuff. So let's just get that out of the way first. It's going to be a non-judgmental, you follow whatever plan suits you. I have put a disclaimer on there that we are not medically trained professionals. The people in the group are just going to be ordinary people, you and I, not medically trained. If you have a medical situation connected to weight loss in some way, you need to see a medical professional about that, you know? So I realised that actually running a Facebook group in 2023 is not a simple thing. It's not, you know, there's a lot of pitfalls that need to be avoided, and I will be learning as I go, so please be patient with me on that one. So yeah, I'm gonna launch that. It's not live yet, I don't think, but I'm gonna go in today and see if I can make that live, and the link will be in the description box below. If you go there and it doesn't seem to be working, bear with, come back in a couple of days, see if I've done something wrong. One last thing I wanted to touch on is that a couple of you, in fact lots of you, have sent me the link to this Phil Spector interview on Diary of a CEO podcast. The tagline of it was "Calorie counting is pointless and useless and a waste of time." That was the essential takeaway from the heading, and yet that's not actually what he says in the actual podcast. What he says in the podcast is that calorie counting alone is not good for your health. You need to be considering what you're putting into your body. Well, we know that, or at least, you know, I know that, and I know that you guys know that because you've talked to me about it enough. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's always easy to make the right choices. And I am not prepared to give up on calorie counting when I know it has worked for me so well in the past. So thank you to those of you who've sent me that link or tagged me in it or whatever. I have seen it. I agree that the man talks a lot of sense, but I'm happy with calorie counting the way I've been doing for now, at least. I think that's all I've got to say. I will hopefully see some of you joining the Facebook group later this week, but as I said, if you go there and it doesn't seem to be working properly, hold your fire and I'll try and sort it out. And yeah, the link will be in the description box below. Onwards and downwards, here's to another week's calorie counting. I'm going to go and find myself 10 to 1. I'm going to go find myself some lunch, and then I'm going to come back and edit this and get it up for you guys, because some of you will have expected it to arrive at 6 a.m. this morning, but I didn't get it done yesterday for reasons I've explained. And I will see you next week for another Calorie Crush. Take care. Bye for now.